Do you know what happened with that photo of yours? It touched someone in a way that you may not even imagine. It wasn't about beauty or perfection. It was about you, your face, your expression, that mix of mystery and truth that only you have. Someone looked and stopped. It wasn't just an image for this person. It was a question, a desire, maybe even a memory. And you know what was most curious? Your age. Because somehow it didn't match what your eyes show. Or maybe it matched exactly because of that. Because of the maturity in your eyes, or the youth in your smile. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you made this person think. Think about what is beyond that photo. Who are you really? What is behind that look? What has marked you? This photo was not just an image. It was an open story, full of blank spaces that now someone wants to fill. This person didn't see just a face. They saw time, life, the secrets that you don't even know you carry. Have you ever wondered what people see when they truly look at you? I'm not talking about a quick glance, the kind that passes without leaving marks. I'm talking about a deep look, the one that goes through the layers you've chosen to show. Well, this photo, this image that you may have posted without much thought, wasn't just a photo. It was a silent invitation, an open window for someone to see what you can't hide even if you wanted to. And the most intriguing part, this person, when looking at you, didn't see what they expected. Maybe they expected something more predictable, more obvious, but no. What they found was different. It was strong. Because your image is not common, not generic. It provokes. It raises questions without giving answers. Who are you? Why does this face seem to carry so much and at the same time hide so much? And it's not just about appearance, it's not that. It's what's behind it, what is felt even without being able to explain. Because your face tells a story, yes. But it doesn't reveal everything. There's something there that escapes control, something that no one can manipulate or plan. It's the truth of who you are. And that truth, it caught attention. Maybe you think I'm exaggerating. You might even think, it's just a photo. Nothing more than that. But do you know what makes this photo different? It's not the light, it's not the angle. It's you. It's what you carry, what you've lived through, what you're still seeking. All of that is there, exposed, even if you didn't plan it. And that person who stopped to look at you, they saw that, they felt that, they weren't fooled. It wasn't something superficial. Because there's something in your gaze that doesn't leave anyone indifferent. A type of intensity that can't be learned, that can't be faked. It's something that comes from your history, from your essence. And that intensity is what calls. It's what holds. It's what makes someone look again and again. Do you know what I'm talking about? Maybe not. Maybe you've gotten used to being who you are without realizing the impact you have. Because we don't see ourselves the way others see us. We forget, we hide, or we simply don't want to know. But here is the truth. You provoke more than you imagine. Your presence is stronger than you think. And that age that accompanies you, it's just a number, but it's also more than that. Because somehow it contradicts what people expect. Or maybe it confirms it. Because those who look at you can't tell if what impresses them is the time that has passed or the time you still seem to carry. There's something timeless about you. Something that confuses and fascinates at the same time. But why does it matter? Because now someone is thinking about you. Yes, because of a photo. Because of something that seemed simple. But you know it wasn't simple. Nothing that comes from you is simple. There are layers, there are nuances, there is a complexity that you don't always let show, but that is always there. And this person who stopped to look won't forget. Because you can't forget something that touches you that way. It's not just about beauty, it's not just about age. It's about the impact. It's about what remains after looking at you. It's about what you awaken, even unintentionally. And now, I ask you, what are you going to do with this? With this attention that you grabbed without even realizing it? Because once you let someone into your space, even if only through an image, it creates a connection. And this connection doesn't vanish, doesn't disappear. Have you ever stopped to think about the strength of a connection created so subtly? That person who stopped in front of your photo, who felt something, who maybe doesn't even fully understand what it was. This connection is now here, alive, even if you're not yet aware of it. And as much as it seems something simple, it isn't. because something true was awakened. It wasn't planned, it wasn't manipulated, it was natural, it was real. Now imagine, as you go about your life unaware, there is someone carrying your image. Not just the image itself, but what it represents, the impact it caused, the face they can't forget. Not because it's just beautiful or remarkable, but because it's authentic. Because there is a truth there that escapes the limitations of a photograph, something that overflows, something that makes you think, imagine, even dream. And maybe you are thinking, but why does this matter so much? What does it really mean? And I tell you, it means everything. Because this person did not only look at what is visible, they saw what is inside, even if you try to hide it. They saw beyond the surface, and that is exactly what makes all the difference. It is not common, it is not easy. It is something rare that few have the courage to truly face. What does this say about you? It says that you are more than you believe yourself to be. It says that there is a magnetism in you that you do not even notice, but others feel. You attract without making an effort, without needing to be someone else, because it is your essence that speaks, that shouts, even if you remain silent. It is not something you control, it is something that simply happens, and that is what makes you unforgettable. But what about now? What happens to this person who got stuck in your image? They try to decipher, they try to fill in the gaps, because you did not give everything away. You left mystery, and it is the mystery that holds, not knowing exactly who you are, but wanting to know. This desire to discover, to understand, to get closer. That is what makes you so impactful, so different. And here comes the most interesting part. Maybe you are so used to being who you are that you do not even realize how special you are. Maybe you have looked in the mirror so many times that you stopped seeing what others see. But that does not change the fact that, to those looking from the outside, you are a storm. You are intense. You are profound. And that scares. Scares because it is not common. Scares because it is true. Now tell me, are you prepared for what this connection can bring? Because not just any person reacts this way. Not just anyone allows themselves to be touched so deeply by a simple image. This person who saw you, who noticed you, is not just anyone. They felt something. And when someone feels something so strong, it does not go away, it stays, it grows. So what are you going to do with this? Ignore it? Let it pass as if it were nothing? Or are you going to start realizing that what you carry is much bigger than you imagine? Because now it's not just about you. It's about the impact you have caused. It's about the space you occupy in someone's mind and heart. And if this still doesn't seem real to you, stop and think. How many times have you looked at someone and been touched in this way? How many times has an image stayed with you, without asking permission, without explanation? It's not something that happens every day. It's not something that can be forced. It's rare. It's special. And now you are that someone for another person. This is your reality now. And maybe, just maybe, it's time for you to accept that what you carry, what you are, has a much greater power than you think. Because like it or not, you left a mark. You awakened something. And that, my dear, is something no one can ignore. And now that you know this, the question is, what does this mark you left mean to you? Because, see, the impact you have on others is never something neutral. It reverberates, creates waves, and these waves, even if you don't see them immediately, come back to you in some way. You touch this person in a way they did not expect, and this can be the beginning of something. Or it can be just another moment you let pass without realizing the importance. The choice is yours. But stop to think for a moment. What is so unique about you that makes someone feel this just by looking at you? It's not just what's in the photo, it's what's beyond it. It's the way your expression carries a world of sensations. Maybe it's the mix of strength and vulnerability that exists in you, or maybe it's the calmness on your face that contrasts with the intensity in your eyes. Whatever it is, it's something that isn't easily found. It's something that leaves marks, and you know what else? It's not just about who you are today. It's about everything you've been through. Because what you carry on your face didn't come out of nowhere. Every line, every expression, every detail is a story. They are the moments when you fell and had to get up, the times when you needed to hide the pain behind a smile, or the days when you were so genuinely happy that it became etched in you. All of that is there, visible to those who know how to look. And that person who saw your photo, they saw all of that, even without fully understanding what it was. They didn't just see the image of someone, they saw a presence, a life, a mystery, something that caught their attention in a way they couldn't ignore. And as much as you think it's just another photo, to that person, it's not. It's much more. Do you know what it means to be unforgettable? It's not about being perfect. It's not about meeting others' expectations. It's about being so real that you cannot be ignored. That's what you did. You were real, even without trying. And that reality is what makes you linger in someone's mind. But the question is, what now? Because when you awaken something so strong in someone, it creates a responsibility. Not a responsibility to be perfect or to meet any expectation, but a responsibility to recognize the impact you have, to understand that the way you live, the way you present yourself to the world, has power. And that power can be used to create deeper connections. Or it can be wasted. Do you think all of this is an exaggeration? Maybe you're used to diminishing yourself, thinking that what you do or who you are doesn't have much importance. But that's only because you don't see yourself the way others see you. Because if you could see yourself through the eyes of that person who was impressed by you, maybe you would finally understand. You would understand that what you think is common in you for others is extraordinary. And if you don't believe it, think about the following. Why did this person stop? Why couldn't they just look at this photo and move on like so many others? Because somehow you called to them. You made them feel something that most people cannot do. That is rare. That is special. And that is not something to be ignored. Now tell me, are you prepared to accept that you have a much greater impact than you imagine? Because this person, when they looked at you, saw something that touched them deeply. And maybe, without even realizing it, they placed you in a special place in their mind, maybe even in their heart. And that is not something that happens by chance. It is not something that happens with just anyone. You awaken emotions. You make people feel things they don't always know how to explain. And that is a gift, but it is also an invitation. An invitation for you to connect in a deeper, truer way. Because now that you know that this connection exists, you can't just ignore it. You can't pretend that nothing happened. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue living without realizing the impact you have? Or are you going to start opening yourself up to the possibilities that this brings? Because believe me, this person was not the first and will not be the last to be touched by who you are. What you carry is rare, it is special, and the world needs that. But above all, you need to recognize this, because that's where it all begins. Now that you know the impact you have caused, that you understand that this photo, this captured moment, was much more than you imagined, tell me, what does this awaken in you? Because it's not just about the reaction of others. It's about what you do with it. It's about realizing that you are much more than you believe yourself to be. What you carry, in your eyes, in your expression, in your essence, has the power to deeply touch people. And this cannot be ignored. Think for a moment. If someone was able to look at a photo of you and feel so much, what would happen if that person truly knew you? If they had the chance to hear your voice, feel your presence, understand a bit more about who you are? Do you think it doesn't matter? Do you think it makes no difference? Well, it does. And it makes a huge difference because deep down, the connections we create, even the most unexpected ones, have the power to transform lives. And perhaps that connection that started with a simple image is the beginning of something you can't even imagine. Have you ever stopped to think how many times you've let moments like this go unnoticed? How many times you've underestimated the impact you have on people? Well, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't do that anymore. No longer. Because every gesture, every word, every image of you has the potential to reach someone, to touch someone, to change someone's day or even life. And that is something powerful, something that deserves recognition. And now I want you to do something. I want you to look inside yourself and recognize your strength. Not just the strength of your appearance, but the strength of your story, your experiences, the person you've become. Because that strength is what shines through you, what breaks through any barrier and reaches others. And it was that strength that made someone stop and look at you in such a special way. So don't let this go unnoticed. Use it. Use the impact you have to create something bigger, to connect more genuinely, to allow people to see who you really are. Because in the end, what matters most is not what you show, but what you let others feel. And you have the power to do that. To be that remarkable presence, that unforgettable memory. Now I want you to do something for me and for yourself. I want you to stop for a moment and reflect on everything we've talked about here. About how a simple photo was able to touch someone so deeply. About how this reflects the strength you have, even if you don't realize it. And if this made sense to you, I want you to share it with me. I want to know what you thought, what it awakened in you, because these connections, even the virtual ones, even the distant ones, are what make us human. If this message touched you, if in some way it made sense, I want you to take action now. I want you to leave your like on this video, because this helps me know that this conversation reached you. I want you to subscribe to the channel, because there's much more to talk about, to explore, to understand about who we are and how we connect with others. And above all, I want you to comment. Tell me what you felt. Tell me what this reflection awakened in you, because your voice matters. Your story matters. You are not here by chance. This conversation, this exchange has a purpose, and that purpose is to make you see that you have immeasurable value, that you carry within you something that can transform the world around you, one person at a time. And if you made it this far, I want to thank you. I want to acknowledge your courage to listen until the end, to reflect, to look inside yourself, because that is not easy. But it is necessary. Now it's up to you. The next step is in your hands. I am here, waiting to know what you think, what you feel. Leave your comment, leave your like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because together we can go further. Together we can create a space where connection, truth, and impact are at the center of everything. And remember, you are much more than you imagine, and the world deserves to know who you really are. I'll see you in the next video. Until then.